No more late. We can start the webinar today. Hello everyone. It's Alam Hussain, MEL Coordinator, App Associates and Admin of Digital MEL Hub. It's my great pleasure that all the emerging M&A professionals of national and international have joined today. As you know, M&A professionals play an important role in project management and capacity building in performance and impact measurement within their organization. I want to take opportunity to give thanks to all of you, my senior expert, facilitators, mentors, friends, and all of my wishers who are giving continuous support and valuable advice to make my journey successful. Before starting today's session, I would like to say something about Digital Mill Hub, webinar, and facilitator. Digital Mill Hub. Digital Mill Hub is a virtual open learning platform for solely M&A professionals to link with real vast skill, personnel, and document sharing. Webinar and learning sharing platform are most important for connecting M&A people as well as build strong sustainable network. I am trying to connect all the M&A professionals worldwide via three social media platforms: WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn with the vision of making strong network with us. I believe connection is most important for career growth. I can guarantee everybody will learn or get benefits by this platform continuously. Let's see group rule, those who are already members of Digital Mill Hub WhatsApp group. First one, anyone can share any information, question, and solution related to M&A. Second one, no one can share any unethical issues here. And third one, anyone can be added or uploaded any documents here who are interested about learning and sharing new things. All M&A professionals are owner of the group. I am just playing admin role. Digital Mill Hub membership. Any interested individual MEL professional can be membership around the world through registration, and it is free of cost. Digital Mill Hub members receive invitation for webinar on MEL related issues through mail and access to great opportunity learning sharing social media platform WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn to connect each other. About webinar. Webinar is organized monthly basis on M&A related topics by prominent field experienced M&A personnel or resource person. Webinar take place through Zoom and are shared M&A related documents through WhatsApp, Facebook, and LinkedIn group. The recorded webinar session and presentation are circulated to the WhatsApp group as well as through mail. Three objectives of webinar. First one, introducing Digital Mill Hub, which will have different M&A knowledge for M&A profession by prominent MEL personnel and myself jointly through virtually due to digital leader. And this platform is to create on November 2021 through first webinar with facilitator Muhammad Rafiqul Islam, M&A lead A.R. Malloy. And second one, we will learn together with failure story telling by practical experience in M&A field. And third one, introducing with some emerging M&A professional around the world by this platform. Primarily, my plan is to finish 12 webinar by this year through expertise and prominent MEL personnel. This is the sixth webinar today, and remaining 6 will be finished by December 2022. Honorable M&A professionals, it's especially great momentous to have Mr. Ronak Mahanto as a speaker today. I honored and grateful to him that he gives his valuable time for us from his busy schedule. Mr. Ronak Mahanto is an expert on MERL, impact assessment, designing and planning, monitoring and evaluation, report writing, database management, ODK, online data collection platform, DQA, research, and so on. He has over 22 years of working experience in the field of M&A, research, learning, accountability with World Vision Bangladesh, Counterpart International, Save the Children, CSM Ashok, and other renowned national organizations in different positions. He has traveled more than 30 countries for professional skill development training, conference, facilitation, and personal trips. Currently, Mr. Ronak is working as Senior Manager Monitoring Evaluation with World Vision Bangladesh. He holds a Master in Sociology and Master in Public Health from Liberty University and PhD on Health System Strengthening. I have a small announcement. Please click the link either Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp given in chat box to be connected with Digital Mill Hub if you are not connected. Finally, the webinar is also being broadcasted in Facebook Live at same time today. Again, thanks everyone for joining. Now it's time our respected Ronokda. I am requesting to our Ronokda to continue today's session on quality report writing. Over to you, Ronokda. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Alongir Bhai, and thank you, dear colleagues. Alongir Bhai, can you hear me? Or John,
Yes.
Yes. We can
thank you.
We can hear
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Firoz Bhai also. Firoz Bhai, if you support me, if I disconnect it or my voice is dropped somewhere, because I have opened two networks here, so I can connect it alternatively if there is any disturbing happen. So I request Firoz Bhai here. Sorry, Alongir Bhai, because Firoz Bhai responded earlier. That's why I requested him. Okay. So almost 106 participants I saw from all over the world. This is really an excellent platform, and thanks goes to Alongir Bhai. And I'm just talking.
Okay, sure.
I'm just talking with the international participants who are not familiar about Bangladesh. With the facilitator and the moderators, we mention sometimes bhai and dada. It's basically in English words brother. And some in the question answer, you can also hear that word bhai or dada. That means brother. So you can understand that way basically. In Bangladesh, we most frequently we use this word. So welcome. Yeah. And already Alongir Bhai mentioned that my name is Ronak. I'm working with World Vision Bangladesh from last 2.5 years, and I'm managing monitoring and evaluation section of one of the big project of USAID funded. That's called Navojatra. It's a research grant. Before that, I was with Counterpart International, and I was involved with the Children International around 9. Almost, you saw my bibliography. Around 22 years, I'm working with many sectors. Some colleagues found in the note that's what is the presentation style. I'm just telling that both Bangla and English. Some of the presentation slides is complex for the beginning level colleagues here in Bangladesh. So I'll touch in Bangla that time. But who are internationally joined here, they can easily understand that language because that slide is more descriptive with other bullet points. And I would like to try to complete this presentation within 1 hour. So it's 8:12. Definitely I'll complete by 9:10. It's my promise, because after that, basically the presentation will be bored. So what happened today? My presentation is designed for the development professionals. It may be project personnel, it may be M&E personnel, it may be research personnel, or other part, admin. Anybody can take some idea, tips, techniques from this presentation. It's not only M&E personnel, basically. It's for all. So, and another thing is within 50 to 60 minutes, it's quite difficult to facilitate a report writing sessions. You know that, everybody know that. So it's difficult within a 50 minutes presentation to how to write a good report. So rather this presentation, it's tips and techniques. Here, 111 participants, I believe, personally, I believe everybody write reports. Everybody writes something in their life, in their career, in university life or in their career life. So everybody knows what is reports. And I'll tell more about the different techniques, wrongs, errors, mistakes, what happened in my personal life as well as your life, your working experiences. So আমি যেটা করব, আমরা যেটা ফেস করছি প্রতিনিয়ত এবং আমাদের পার্সোনাল লাইফের যে এক্সাম্পল গুলো আমি যখন প্রেজেন্টেশন দেব সেগুলো। So presentation will deliberately Bangla and English both, so nobody can bore. That way I'd like to try to engage all the participants here. So, writing a report. what? You need to collect materials or evidence, because without information or evidence, you can't write anything. So you need some kinds of materials. You need some kinds of evidence, information, data, table, graphs, etc. So this is the first point. Then what? Then plan the report. How to write your report. So you need to prepare as a plan. Then as per your plan, you draft the report. Then after drafting the report, you edit. And what happened? You submit your relevant organizations, donor, stakeholders, who are the ultimate beneficiary of this report. So at a nutshell, this is the presentation. If I say that's all, that's all basically. So it's if you think report writing, it's not a complex thing. It's easy things. But this is not the end. I have some presentation, some tips and other things. Everybody knows what is report. And definitely Alongir Bhai will share this presentation with you. And it will be helpful for you when you were preparing for something, when you're preparing your interview, when you're preparing for your management, or when you're preparing anything. That's time this presentation will be helpful for you. Because there are some tips, techniques, there are some theory, there are some references here. So that would be good for you. Because everybody knows these things somehow, but the references will be helpful for you. You saw what is report. It's nothing. Report is the information. That you are presenting your information like a narrative form. That is the report, and in an organized manner. And definitely there are some objectives. So you are writing something without objective, without goal, without any purpose. You are writing nothing. So that আপনি যখন রিপোর্ট লিখছেন, আপনি কিন্তু একটা জিনিস মাথায় রেখে লিখছেন, আপনি কি লিখতে যাচ্ছেন, কেন লিখতেছেন, কার জন্য লিখতেছেন, কি থাকবে আপনার রিপোর্টে। That's the report basically. Sometimes report is narrative, orally. There should not be any written document. Oral presentation, that would be a report as well. You have visited somewhere, কোনো ফিল্ডে আপনি গিয়েছেন, then you present your findings orally in your SMT, your management. That's also a report, but you present it without narrative form, without text, just orally. That's also a report. But most of the things, after all, there should be written documents. That's a report. Everybody knows this. I'm who are here, please see my references. Somebody knows these things. Some of the colleagues maybe not clearly understand what is the reference. So I use some references here, not proper way, but if you see, I quoted this language from here. So www.mariam-wester.com, and when I access this website, I mentioned the date and time. So when you get something, I'm telling these things, though I'll tell in later part, when you get something for any internet, you definitely mention when you access this website and what is the time. And this is the thumb rule from all the junior colleagues here who are the expert here. I'm telling that Bilash Da is here. I know other colleagues are here. But the starting professional, the junior level professionals who are involved in these presentations, the mid-level professional, please follow these things as well. And of course, you noted down these things. This is the most mistaken by our colleagues. They just provide the references, a website link, that's all. But when he accesses this website, like you are referring like COVID information. So every seconds, every moment, the data has been changed. So you need to provide even the time, even the seconds that time. I'm going. So why report is important? Everybody knows why report is important. Because it tells something. It's give the snapshot. It's give the details of particular things. I'm not talking more details. What is the report? But it gives more details. It gives future forecast, because in the report somewhere you mention some directions, recommendation. So it's forecast something. It gives some idea what happened and what to do, what are the challenges, what are the lesson learning. So report tells your future forecast, marketing plan as well. So it's if you think it's a business word, in our development you can say it's a business strategy or development strategy or future direction strategy or strategy. So marketing plan, if you design anything or you are taking any new initiative, new intervention, that report guiding, guide budget planning. Why? How? Because you prepare annual report and there are a lot of challenges. Your performance is below. So that report guided, oh, you are left behind your target. You are left behind your performance. So it would be good as well. So you are lag behind here, you need to prepare like this way, improve decision making. Definitely, it's obvious. So, and report, what is still the report? In the project report, it's basically progress and performance, where you are. And you still see the growth, it's basically business part. But definitely, when you are preparing your project report, it tells something, where you are. So it tells your growth, your intervention, achievement, strategy, changes, impact, a lot of things tell you about the report. Identify trends or any irregularities that may need further investigation. When somebody write a report, in the recommendation part, he basically tell, oh, you are here. In the discussion point, you are here, you are not there. So it basically tells the irregularities, still you are lag behind. And definitely a report establish the accountability. You are running an intervention, you are running a project, there is no reports. You are organizing the events, there is no report. So there is no accountability. So it establishes the accountability. আপনার স্বচ্ছতা প্রকাশ করে একটা রিপোর্ট। Something, and other thing is, it's the credibility of the organizations. Like any project, like if you visit in deck site, where USA staff here, USA partners staff here, they know the deck. So you can see hundreds of thousands, every project's report is uploaded there. So it's a credibility, it's a reputation that your organization report is there, and it's still something. And it's allocate the resources, it's provide the evaluation things, that's you're here. Like our project, Navojatra is here. It's if other projects, here is their organization, here is the growth progress. And what happened, the report is basically spread the information. If you see the last point, so it's still the, and in the deck side, it basically sharing the information is shared within and outside of the organization. Definitely, like in Bangladesh, there are hundreds of intervention project is running, but if you see somehow you can get the projects. Like in Bangladesh, you have
to stop the auto captioning. It is
is it for me or other person? Sorry, I couldn't hear it.
No, actually, there are some system actually. They are mentioning some auto text that actually mislead to see your all the presentation. So I am requesting Alamgir bhai, please take on this, please.
Okay, now it is clear.
Alamgir bhai, please stop the live transcription. Then it will then probably resolve.
Yeah, right. It's screening is sharing live, right? Yes, Dada.
Clear.
Stop the live transcription. Then it will then probably resolve.
Yeah, so I'm reading these things. Basic outline. Everybody knows these things. Basic outlines of the reports. If you ask the questions, yes, it's basically recording problem. That's why that's the tab is coming here.
Yeah.
By talking about the basic outline, because when you are preparing anything, So you need to consider the basic outline of a report. So if you're telling which outline for this, I'm talking universal things. I'm not talking the research report. I'm not talking about the project report. I'm not talking about the evaluation report. It's basically universal things. Because I know there are many colleagues who will join who are not beyond M&E background, beyond research background. So that's why basically this presentation is developed. So what the content should be in a report? Definitely title with a good cover base. And if I'm telling the story that 90% cover page of a report is not good, not attractive. Title is not good. The pictures is not good. When the report is good, if there is a good guise of communication knowledge management, that projects or that organization report is good. But the people who are here, everybody not know the computer. Even in MS Word, you can prepare a good title page with coloring, with taking the good photographs. So in Bangla, আপনারা সবাই জানেন আগে দর্শনধারী তারপরে গুণ বিচারী। আপনার যদি টাইটেল পেজ, if your title page is not good, so your audience, your readers, your donors, your stakeholders will just, oh, it's not a good report. It's not giving me a good notions because your title page is very worse. Color is bad, your fonts is bad, your looking is not good. And I have that experiences. So many reports cover page is not good. And even myself, I just put it in my desk. And if you, some of my colleagues here, same experiences, have that. So you need a good title page, short, crazy. The title should be crazy. Importance, not too much words, simple. Definitely there would be a table of contents. Even if it is a 5 pages, 10 pages report, some of my colleagues preparing a 10 pages report, assessment report, 10 pages, short, but there is no table of contents. Then okay, there is a report, 5 or 6 pages. I'm talking that report as well, but there is no acronyms, but you use a lot of acronyms in your text, but there is no acronyms because you need to think about that. This report is not only for you. Many people can read, many people get access this report, use this report. So definitely there should be acronyms, abbreviations, summary or executive summary. Somebody mentioned summary, somebody mentioned executive summary. Introduction, background, and what would be that? I will tell that one. Goal, definitely, if it is a research report, then there should be goal, objective, purpose, other things. And research report, definitely methodology. If it is a project report, project quarterly report, definitely there not be a goal or methodology, but definitely there would be results, there would be discussion, there would be conclusion, way forward, lesson learned, and recommendation. Most of the report must results, conclusion, recommendation is compulsory. Just if you ignore goal and methodology, that's okay. The goal, objective, methodology, more or less in the research report is applicable, like evaluation reports, like baseline, midterm, assessment. We basically use these things. Annexures, definitely we use the annexure, appendix, references, and many reports use references. And if you talk, আপনি যদি বলেন যে আমি একটা quarterly report লিখছি, এখানে কেন reference দিব? Why I use the references in quarterly report of a project? Yes, if sometimes you are talking that my project is like this way, but still that part is gap years, and there is a report from government. Like in our, we are working beside the Bay of Bengal of Bangladesh and more cyclone-prone areas, and there are many projects is implementing, and there is a government information as well. I can use that one. The government is telling that this number of houses is devastated by these floods, by this cyclone. So definitely we need to use that references as well. So references must. And in the later part, I will say many of my colleagues here could not use the references properly. I tell how to use the references as well. So this is basically a basic template of a report. এবং আপনারা এটা মনে রাখবেন এবং ফলো করার চেষ্টা করবেন যে এই জিনিসগুলো যেন থাকে, ডেফিনেটলি এই টপিকস গুলো যেন মিট আপ করা হয়। আরো অনেক কিছু থাকে, সেগুলোকে আমরা পরে আরো ডিটেলস ইয়ে করবো আর কি। জাস্ট এটা আমি ইউনিভার্সাল পিকচার, জাস্ট I'm telling a universal picture of the reports. In the title, I mentioned what would be in the title. In the introduction, there should be a history. There should be a background. In the introduction or background chapter, what is the process, or what is your thinking point of this assessment or research? So you need to discuss that one in the introductions. And sometimes, and before in summary, you know, in the summary, I didn't mention, summary is basically your findings is mentioned in the broader summary, which is impacted to the audience. And audience would like to see this. Like you are intervening a project in COVID management. Definitely, what is the management part from your project? So that should be managed. Like you manage this quarter, this number of patients, this number of COVID cases. So if you not plug this in summary sheet, that would be not a good summary. I'm just telling the example. Definitely in the research report, you need to write the methodology, details of the methodology, including the sampling, quality measurement, time schedule, everything should be mentioned in the methodology basically. And the finding in the discussion, basically you link the objective, you link with your purpose, you link your goal, because in the findings and discussion you will tell to the audience, you will tell the readers that where you are, through the graphs, through the tables, through the findings, through the qualitative data analysis, through the course, through the success stories. So in the findings and discussion, you need to connect that things. And definitely you need to connect with your objectives. Definitely you need to connect with your purposes. So I just mentioned it. Did objective fulfill or not? In the findings discussion you need. Like somebody telling that through this assessment, I would like to see these things. But in your findings, in your discussion, you plugged only 3 things. Other 4 number objective is missing. So you need to plug that one. Write the body with graphs, tables, figure, images, etc. with the findings. In the findings, definitely you know that's here the everything we need to put here basically the 5 things. Even in the project report, you need to mention here where you are, what is your target, what is your achievement, what is your gap area, why you are left behind. Those kinds of things you need to discuss. You need to write down properly. And in the conclusion recommendations, what happened? What happened through your assessment, through your reports, through your quarterly report? What happened in the last 3 months? What happened in this quarter, in this year? You need to summarize this. And definitely you need to provide the recommendations from your side when you write. This is the biggest thing. And the donors and the stakeholders, who basically the higher level readers, they basically like to see what is your conclusions, what you are recommending. This is the most readable part of your report. Just remember this thing. If you search down what a readers would like to see in the report, basically most of the readers like to see what is your conclusion, what is your recommendation, what is your thinking, what is your way forward. So here you need to more thinking power and need to flag your thoughts, flag your recommendations. What would you like to flag here? And you need to link your donor expectations. You need to link your research findings. Like your donor would like to expect this one, but you are not plugging that thing. So that would be your thinking. That would be your guiding points. What is matters for good reports? This is the tip. And now I'm talking about the tips. So remember these things always. Always, when you report a 3 pages report, when you report a 5 pages report, these things should be firstly remembered. It's basically analysis of many write on good report. There is a writers who write a report, how to write your reports basically. There is a books in Bangladesh as well. If you go to the British Council, you can get that books as well. So that books is used here. I'm giving that reference in later part. So tip number 1, write text that is easy for your audience. Like here, most of the participants' language, English is not their first language, right? So, and we basically studied English in many ways. We know English. So as per your English, you write that things. And what you write, just think whether your readers is understand or not. Not you understand your writing, but that is not the part. আপনি সবসময় মনে রাখবেন, আপনি বুঝতেছেন, that is not your concern. যে রিপোর্টটা পড়বে সে বুঝবে কিনা, তাকে চিন্তা করেন। ও আপনি এই রিপোর্টটা করছেন আপনার অপারেশনাল ম্যানেজারদের জন্য, definitely you need to think about your operation management, thinking, thoughts, their idea, that. So when you report anything, you first need to read your audience, read your readers. Again, I'm talking about read your readers. What would your readers like to see? If you like to submit this report to your donors, the FCDO or UK8 or USAID or OSAID or UN bodies, so that should be that way. So I'm talking that part later on, how to write for that way. Be concise and well organized. I got many reports, many problems, not well organized. Lot of things happen. I'll tell that one. You know what is not organized. Make it easy to skim or navigate or reading. Like you were writing in the above paragraph and the second paragraph, there is no linking. I just stop first paragraph and last line, and again when I start the second paragraph, I could not get any connection. So skimming is easily to read. So if that way, nobody would read that report basically. So when you write any report, there should, and if you stop the paragraph, if you start another paragraph, there should be linkers. You can get these things in Google as well. Okay, use devices. I'm talking about the basically computer. Like sometimes we are sharing some reports in MS Word. In different countries use different MS Word version. MS Word 17, MS Word 8 version, very older version. If you submit that report, that stakeholders, that donor cannot read sometimes because they are using an updated version. So definitely think about this. And what are the solutions? Definitely you convert your report in the PDF. It's a one kind of solutions. Make the report culturally appropriate. Hope everybody understand these things. You are writing some report on the indigenous community. Never heard their practice, their thoughts, their views. Just an example. So always think about the culturally appropriate words, sentence. So you can't hurt anything. Be cautious about using readability formulas. I'm talking later for readability formula. You are working with readable projects, but your report is not readable. You are writing for our like here, the audience who are here for themselves, but you're working a disable project. So you need to prepare that report that way. That's everybody can read, understand that way. So I'll talk that one later. And even I'm talking the few minutes before that, your reporting version should be appropriate. Like there is a different version. So you need to use the appropriate version. Test a report with your audience or readers. Like if I'm talking about Alamgir Bhai, he basically use his family members sometimes. So when you report something, test your report with your surrounding community members. Brothers, I have sisters, I prepared this report, please read and give me suggestions. That way you can prepare. So it's the best tips for you. Use appropriate references, must. Think clearly and write that thinking order. When you start reporting, you need to think, and that thinking should be follow everywhere. If you think about Rabindranath basically sometimes everybody here who are the expert, he's the biggest Bengali writers, and he died many years before. He basically just didn't eat anything around his for writing his thoughts, poem, other things. So that way you need to think about what you would like to write. That way you need to think. Read relevant guidelines or other resources. When you report in COVID related, you can read COVID related reports. There are many reports in COVID related. So That way you also use other resources.
Mike, abbiamo più gas, no smax. Vamos un poco, bro. That's on my
I think
Well
there are
done,
some
don't
noise
worry.
here. I would like to request Mr. Alamgir Bhai.
Yeah, fine. Thank you so much. Again, আমি আমাদের বাঙালি অডিয়েন্সদের জন্য বলছি, আপনি যে রিপোর্টটা লিখবেন পড়েন। আপনি এখানে আমার অনেক কলিগরা আছে রিপোর্ট সাবমিট করে পড়ে না। আপনি যদি একবার পড়েন এবং পড়ার পরে দেখবেন আপনি নিজে চেঞ্জ করতে পারবেন। So read your report aloud to yourselves, not silently, aloudly. You can get where is the problem. Even if your English is problem, you can understand that way if you allowed something. So that's why psychodrama, it's a famous word. So it's basically you are rehearsing yourself. So prepare your report first, read. It's the best tips. Then make the necessary correction, addition, and subtraction. If you thought, oh, this word is not suitable, oh, it's not, oh, I'm reading something, it's not good one, and it's paused. So you can understand that way. Repeat this process till you are satisfied. You are the writer, so until your satisfaction, read. And second tips is clarity. If the report is not confidential, colleagues, just follow. Like you are preparing a confidential report about your supervisor or some HR report. If that is not the case, then when the report is complete, share with someone who guide you, who knows better than you. So any report which is not confidential, share it with others before sharing with your relevant stakeholders. And it may be useful to ask someone who doesn't understand the subject matter to see if it makes sense to them too. Like you are preparing a HIV related report, and you can share this report with other colleagues who are not aware about HIV/AIDS, but he can give his novice knowledge as well, and it will be good. Because like we are working in the USAID project in like 12 years, Bilata is here, Alamgir is here, Scoville is here, because we are in some formats. If we get idea from rather USAID grant, we can get some other options as well. So read your report, other colleagues who are not familiar of the subject. Your report must be adequate information. Without information, without so what, you just write a report like I organized, there is a meeting, there is a 30 member participant were attended, 5 were female, 25 were male, and it was a good facilitation by a dash. There is a 3 tired stakeholders. So what happened? Good. You done events. There were some certain level participants there. So what happened? There is no information basically. And if you share this report with your donor, they will be not happy. Oh, you invested a lot of money, but what is the picture from these events? So you need to provide a lot of adequate information for any report. Even if it's a field visit report, even if it's short findings of events or anything, you need to give adequate information to that. I mentioned clarity, and should be simple and coherent language. Means linking with sentence, linking with paragraphs, so it's simple. Don't use complex sentence. It's the another things. Everybody knows here. The reader must find no difficulty in understanding the contents of the report. And when you prepare the report, definitely, as I mentioned, that your reader need to understand the report. That way you need to prepare basically. You not to prepare a report for yourselves. You are preparing a report for others. So that way you need to prepare. If you prepare that way, your language will be simple, your information will be there. Oh, I know my donor is asking this type of questions. My donor requested this kinds of information. My stakeholders is asking this type of view. Definitely will be plugged these things. So you need to read your readers. I'm talking this sentence again. And report must be written briefly, not need to brief lot of things and minimum words, not lengthy report. And nowadays, USAID is, I'm not talking too much donors because USAID is fixed, not too much. Please prepare a report, annual report within 23, 25 pages, enough. So, and now we basically, when prepare any reports, we basically limit it to 30 pages. If 25 to 30 pages, nowadays, it is the standard. It's a concise reports. So, and another things, accuracy, it's a great problem. If you provide your summary, that's you achieve 30%, but in your findings, you mention 36%. So accuracy should be there. And it is a great mistake from our side. Sometimes our accuracy within the report is not linked. So it is the first point. You need to think about your accuracy. If you provide any data, any figures, any information, there should be accuracy. Like you are providing the best breeding practices rate of Bangladesh. I'm talking about Bangladesh. You are providing some information from Bangladesh Demographic Health Survey. So you need to provide the latest information which is available. You can't refer your data from 2011. You need to provide most recent one. Okay, logical error. The systematic manner, it's, you know the things, I'll talk later. References I mentioned, proper format. Definitely every donor has a format. So you need to follow that one. Every donors, if there is no format, you can follow that universal guideline. And date, many report could not find the date. When you prepare this date, when you prepare these reports, there is no date. So how can get that report is prepared? When this report prepared without date, it is, so it's a silly mistake. You prepared a good report, but there is no date. কেমন করে শুরু করবেন? How to start? Like আপনি যদি ধরেন পালতোলা নৌকা নিয়ে একটা রিপোর্ট লেখেন, ডেফিনেটলি আপনি পালতোলা নৌকা নিয়ে শুরু করবেন। আপনি কিন্তু ওই রিপোর্টে গাড়ির কথা বলবেন না, ওই রিপোর্টে ডিঙ্গি নৌকার কথা বলবেন, ঠিক আছে? এবং আপনি যেটা নিয়ে শুরু করেছেন ওটা দিয়ে শেষ করুন। আমরা অনেকেই রিপোর্ট শুরু করি একটা দিয়ে, শেষ করি অনেক অন্য কিছু দিয়ে। ইভেন কনক্লুশন ওগুলো থাকে না, রেকমেন্ডেশন ওই জিনিস লিঙ্কিং নাই। সো ডেফিনেটলি আপনি পালতোলা সেল বোর্ডস নিয়ে যদি, ইফ ইউ রাইট সামথিং, ইউর রেকমেন্ডেশন শুড বি অন সেল বোর্ডস। সেল বোর্ডস, পালতোলা নৌকা। এবং সেকেন্ড বুলেট, অর্গানাইজ ইউর ফ্যাক্টস বিফোর রাইটিং এনিথিং। যেগুলো নিয়ে আপনি রিপোর্ট লিখবেন, ডেটা, গ্রাফস, এগুলো সব রেডি করেন। ওকে, আপনি আপনার যদি গাইডিং হ্যান্ড থাকে, আপনার সাপোর্টিং হ্যান্ডস থাকে, তাদেরকে দেন। এবং you need to check that one, whether this report data is okay or not, telling the truth okay or not, meeting the objectives okay or not. So that way you need to discuss, then write them. Thirdly, precise. I mentioned this one, not too much. And precise means like আপনি পালতোলা নৌকা নিয়ে শুরু করলেন, কিন্তু আপনি দেখা গেল যে জাহাজ দিয়ে গল্প শেষ করলেন। তার মানে প্রিসাইজ ওই বিষয়ে থাকবে না, ওখানেই গল্প শেষ করবে। এবং আপনি যদি নৌকা, শুধু পালতোলা নৌকা নদীতে ভাসে, আপনি কালার নিয়ে বলতে পারেন, কিন্তু আপনি ওর কালার বলবেন, ওই বিষয়টাই নিবদ্ধ থাকবে যে কি নিয়ে লিখতেছেন। বারবার আমি আরেকটা কথা বলছি, read your audience, aim your report to your audience. Definitely আপনি অডিয়েন্সকে চিন্তা করবেন, রিডার্সকে চিন্তা করবেন, কে আপনার রিপোর্টটা করবে। এগেইন আমাদের আরেকটা দৈন্যতা, আমরা হচ্ছে অন্যকে ক্রেডিট দেই। আমরা রিপোর্ট করতে অনেকের হেল্প লাগে, সেই বিষয়টা ফ্ল্যাগ করি না, এটা আমাদের আরেকটা দৈন্যতা। সো অলওয়েজ ক্রেডিট আদার্স পিপল হু ওয়ার্কস ফর দিস রিপোর্টস, where there should be certainly some pages. That pages should be mentioned, that credit goes to that. So there should be acknowledged page, definitely. If you go, if you prepare a good report or a concise annual report like this one. So again, in the beginning, I mentioned that report writing is an easy task, but now I'm talking, see, report writing is a challenging process. I'm not talking it's a difficult task, but it is a challenging process. You need a lot of things, a lot of information, a lot of data. lot of images, lot of graphs, lot of anecdotes, lot of references. So it's a challenging process. That's why I'm mentioned that it's a challenge. It demands a lot of time. And oh, your supervisor mentioned, hey, you have visited this number of fields. Please submit a report. No, it's not that submit a report by today. It's not that much easy. If it is the case, then it's basically not good report. Again, so this is the factor who is reading your report. Why are they reading? Another important thing, why they read this report. You are preparing your maternal child health nutrition intervention project assignment. So why they read this report? If there is no changes, is no impact, so what question answer, lot of information is not there. So why they read your report? Again, I try make it shorter, and in the question marks, I already mentioned that 25 to 30 pages is good for a annual report, quarterly report, or any research report. Everybody knows what types of report is there. Definitely project reports, as we are all development professional, we prepare weekly report, monthly report, quarterly report, semi-annual or 6-monthly report, annual report. Sometimes who basically close the intervention or projects, definitely there would be a close out or phase out report, certainly. Then evaluation report, who are working in the project, definitely there is a baseline, midterm, endline report. And who MNU or any persons here involved, monitoring report is there. Even if the program people as field visit, observation, event visit, etc. So even monitoring reports is one type of reports. Event report, there are many events happen for any process. So there certainly there is a event report. And if you ask my event report follow that structure, certainly you can follow some way, not all the things. And in the event report, there should be information, definitely. And in the event report, you need to think who will be read this event. All the things applicable for this, all types of reports. Business reports, mostly for the business community, not for us. Academic reports, thesis report, research report, assessment report. Mostly we have done the assessment report, who are the NGO colleagues here. Product report, sometimes product report need to provide, it's a business community provide this thing. Scientific report, epidemiologist or other science background people who are working in the science fields, like test of COVID vaccines, so they prepare the scientific report. Incident report, they're certainly in the projects, sometimes incidents happen, we prepare the incident report. Performance report is mostly HR related. Financial report, audit report, nowadays it's both finance and program. It's a program audit report also happens nowadays. So these kinds of report basically we prepare, and certainly there are many beyond this list. Now this is the things, and there are many mistakes happens for using graphs, figures, tables, annexures, etc. And I found almost 60% errors in regarding graphs, tables. So when you preparing a report, you need to ask, do I need a figure tables? If yes, how many? So not too much. Somebody use lot of tables, lot of graphs, lot of things. Thought that, oh, if there is many graphs, through different ways. So you need to think what you would like to show your audience. So this is your thoughts. Table. I'm talking just table 1 means it's not table 1. You are preparing like this way. Table 1, figure 1. Sometimes we are not using this way basically. Table. Even we didn't put the name, number as well. I mentioned physical characteristics of the doctor. Definitely. Some people use it below the table. No, always use above the table. And use the this table number in your table of contents. Figure. Choose the most effective figure for communicating the main point. Use figure caption as well. If you use any figure, definitely use the caption as well. graphs. I'm talking here, and there is a presentation as well, the problem in the graphs. Like you are not analyzing your trend, but you are providing line graphs. And your data is not connected to the groups. You are providing the histogram. Somebody here, maybe it might complex for themselves. You can search it, because you can find where can you use histogram, where you can use your bar graph, where you use column, where can you use pie, where you can use line graph. So we can easily find out. Please, without knowing where this this type of graph is appropriate, please don't use. Google, you can search where I use histogram. Google show you where you use the histogram, where you use the bar graph, where you use the pie, where you use the line graph. So I don't need to give you the details. But many people use histogram, but useless. Statistician, when see these things, the pure statistician basically saw this graph and laugh. Oh. And there is no, like you are showing the growth of your children. There is no line graph, monthly growth, like you use the column graph. The people who are expert, they show the graph, see the graph and laugh. So you need to understand these things basically. And don't use to mass color in the graphs. Many people use many colors. Use green, and this is visible for all. And another great example, I'm sorry, I'm telling that somewhere I use starring. See here in the Sky News, when Alamgir Bhai shared this presentation, in the hand notes, in the notes of the slides, you can see the references, because I didn't use those references here. You can see the references in the below of the presentations, slides, in the hand notes. When I start my career, my mentors mentioned, please see BBC, their graphs, their presentation, their color is excellent. If you have the connection of Sky News, if Akash TV, the channel number may be 253 or 251, there is Sky News. You can see their color, you can see their graphs, you can see their style. Excellent, the best. As part of the world reputation is now excellent. Sometimes it was BBC, sometimes it's Al Jazeera, now it is Sky News. So please follow Sky News for using the graphs, color, and other things. Rather BBC. At a time, BBC was excellent. So you need to think that way, basically. Even if you search in YouTube, you can see their channel as well in the YouTube. And Y and X-axis. You started from basically. Writing is thinking on paper. Like even in Bangladesh, there is a famous writer, Humayun Ahmed. He write in the paper first, then he write in the computer. So you're thinking, please write your papers. Then you elaborate. What would you like to write? What you would like to show your audience? So anyone who thinks clearly should be able to write clearly about any subject matter. Without thinking, what would you like to write? You can't write anything in good way. Mentioned by William Zinsser. He is basically a world business writer, basically. He has a lot of famous books for the development workers. So thinking is one of the important points for writing anything. Common mistakes. Everybody, bad looking of the title face. I mentioned these things. Page size in Bangladesh, 99% is set off is wrong. 99% reporting page size is wrong. We always prefer letter size, but in the market, letter size page is not available. It's always A4 size. So your page size not properly designed. Your setup, your MS Word setup is letter size, and you print out in A4 size, so it would be not a good looking printing. So this is my suggestion. When we set up your page, always set up as per the paper size. So you get the offset paper, it's basically A4. And I mentioned table of content reports. Why I put the page number? Please, without page number, don't write your report. Grammar and spelling mistakes. Lot of things happen. Oh my goodness. MS Word is there. Run your grammar, run your spelling. Even you can see it's a blue font in your words, under your words, or red color. Many from our colleagues who are living in Bangladesh, many mistakes happen in different geographical locations. For the international colleagues, please, when you name any place's name, please follow a government declared gazetted. Don't use your sense. Okay, this is the name. If I write down this way, okay, fine. See Manikganj, is it the correct word? But I found most of the, yes, Ganj is correct as per the phonetics. O is part. But if you see the government declaration, all Ganj are A. So like this way, you need, even if you mention Dada, why? It's not a mistake. Definitely, it's a big mistake. Like in your many countries, some places name has been changed. Even recently, Turkey changed his name as well. Kolkata changed his name. But I found when I looking in the Facebook and other reports, I see the older name. Even in Bangladesh, same things happen. Even many colleagues use the previous district's name. Some district name changed, but they didn't use that. So there are silly mistakes. When you write report, like I'm working some part, my project is Manikganj. So please, just show. Oh, if I mentioned a statement, that's why I put a reference there. Fonts and font size problem. There are a lot of fonts you use, lot of size you used. Underline, bullet, bold, italic. Why? Use simple. That will be beautiful. That is nice. That is good. Use bold, underline. What? Use anything. Bold or underline. Italic. Okay, you can use, but not bold, not underline, not italic for same sentence or same words. Setting pictures, graph in the right positions. It's enough. You can, who know the words better, they can do this. Sometimes you just insert. No, you need to position it. You need to lot of things. It's not a big job for setting your graphs or pictures in the reports. Page, I mentioned page setup with numbering. Excessive use of colors and graphs. Lot of graphs, lot of color, many colors. This title is this color, that title is this color, this subtitle is this color. No. Excessive use of fonts. Lot of fonts you use. Don't use lot of fonts. Nowadays, some international organization, some organization basically fix. You can use these fonts. So use that font. Some do not mention use these fonts. So use this font. Don't use other fonts. Unnecessary or missing capitalization. So, and I found lot of cases. Many cases I found using capitalization. Some words just start capital. Why? And when you start, you will start at the present tenses, then in your paragraph you mention a past tense. You started past tense, in the same sentence you started in present tense. No, don't do this. If you fix in present tense, write your paragraph in the present. If you think it's past tense, write your paragraph in past form. Now, how to manage your report, how to troubleshooting your report. Follow your donors guidelines. If you are university, if you are doing any thesis, any PhD research, follow your university guidelines. If you're working in any international organization, definitely they are branding, they are reporting guidelines. If you're working Save the Children, I know Save the Children, World Vision, other international organizations follow some guidelines. So always follow that guideline. If you join any new organization, asking for them. Do you have any guideline for preparing report? Please provide that. So always follow that. It is good for defect management, because it's mentioned clearly what is the page size, how the size would be there, what is the font, what is the color. So everything mentioned that. Follow standard template if there is any. Definitely, and like our donor provided this template, we always use the template. If there is no template, then use your guess, your idea. I also mentioned use the red, green, blue font, not other fonts as well. Other color basically. Grammatic mistake, always not use too much jargons, too much dictionary words, like sometimes, oh, if I use a lot of complex words, that would be good. No. In the beginning, I mentioned use the very simple words. And a few minutes before, I mentioned 7 pictures. If that picture is not telling anything, and there is a concern of ethics, there is a lot of bad things in the picture, don't use that. So read your picture as well and use that one. If your picture telling something, use that picture. If your picture telling nothing, don't use that picture basically, or information. I mentioned page. Use relevant information. If you read something, some subject, definitely limit it with that information, not use other information basically. And always try to showcasing your impact, showcasing your changes, showcasing your so what questions answer. What happened? You organize this event, so what happened? That question will come from your stakeholder. That questions come from your donor, your organization. Before asking this question, please tell your report. Through these events, this has happened. These changes is happened. Avoid complex sentences. And I mentioned that reference is the piece. Follow these things, because who are strictly involved in the research here, they basically know the references. Most of the cases, many colleagues don't know. I basically use Harvard style. It is basically easier. Another style is there at Vancouver, but that is more complex. So I always use Harvard style. Harvard style started, like I provide them example as well. That's why I mentioned, please keep this presentation for your future references. You can get it in your Googling as well, no problem. So start author surname. Surname means your basically family name, your last name basically. Then your initial, like your name. If your name is Alamgir Hossein, then start Hossein, then comma, then your Alamgir's use A, your first alphabets of your first name. Year of publication. See the references. When I mention, see the references as well. Year of publication. Title of the publication. See the title of the publication. Then it's basically italics mentioned. The title would be in the italic. If there is an edition, if this report is second edition, use second edition. Third edition, first edition. Okay. Publisher name and place of publication. If it is a UPL is Oxford, mention Oxford. Then mention the place of publication. And nowadays Oxford is in different countries, in India as well. Then mention India. If it is UK, mention UK. So, and if you get that information from the book. I mean, I given the 2 examples here. And then the biggest things, whether time would be permit or not, but for your thoughts, I think almost 1 hour is here. This is the biggest thing and most updated thing. Who are working in the HCDO funded project, who are working in the USAID funded project, they are now requesting, please make your report accessibility and compatibility for the people with disability. If you prepared your report like this way, if this report run any blind people, disabled people, mean blind people who can read, who cannot read, they basically understand the report. Is it difficult for you? Again, I'm talking in Bangla. Recently, কিছু donor বলছে, even USC 508 ADS বলে একটা জুড়িয়ে দিয়েছে, তুমি যদি কোনো রিপোর্ট সাবমিট করো, then তুমি accessibility and compatibility করে রিপোর্ট করে দিবা। আমি কিন্তু এটা ওয়ার্ডের একটা স্ক্রিন আপনাদের this is the screen from Word version, and I will just show a reports to you, and it's not a hard job. I have a video as well. I will not show because it's the around 30 minutes video. When you get that presentation, you can see that video as well. I have given a guideline. You can easily do this. It can be doable in the MS Word. It's not a tough job. It's very easy, very, very easy. If you make that way, any people who cannot see, he or she can read basically that report without any problem. And it is not inbuilt in the older version MS Word. In most latest version Word, it's basically inbuilt. If you go to the MS Word, and if you go the first menu, then information, then if you check accessibility and compatibility, your report, you can see how many problems is there and how can you solve that problem. Basically, what happened? You need to prepare your report in different way, right? Heading 1, heading 2, in the picture, logo, and other things. You need to add something. What is these things basically? I will show something. And run checking, I already show you the screen in the beginning, and correct any error is there. There is a video link, but I'm not showing it. And I'll just show you a dummy report. I'm sorry. Sorry, my report is not linked. It was linked earlier, but now it is not working. I'm just showing, hope everybody can see my screen, right? I'm almost in the finishing stage. I'm just showing how to do these things. Just go to file, then info, then here. Check accessibility compatibility. You see, and there is the problem. Here is the problem. And like I'm showing here, see, there is a space here. So if you omit that space, that problem will be gone. Then another problem here. There is, because this is blank space basically. Like this way, basically you need to fix out your problem. And I will provide the guideline. There is some editing option here. You need to do that things basically. Like here. Sorry. It's not showing. It will be fixed. Basically, I need some time to do this. It's not a, but if you see the video, you can do easily. Because time also limited, Alongir also flagged this issue. So I'm giving to you, and if you run those things, and basically accessibility and compatibility, I need another 2 or 3 hours to do these things. So thank you for your patience and attending and listening me. And another tips for you, you can't wait for inspiration. Like, oh, you did a good job. If you are waiting for somebody, this statement, don't wait for that. Thank you. Alongir bhai, over to you. Alongir bhai, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Dada. Thank you, your nice presentation. Hope all of you will be benefited. Actually, sorry for that. Thanks for all joining. there was no electricity at the beginning of the today's. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dada. Thank you for your nice presentation. All of you will be.
That's why there is sound disturbance.
স্যার আরেকটা ইকো হচ্ছে আলমগীর ভাই।
Alongir bhai,
Yeah.
may we have the presentation copy,
Yes, of course, I will send all of you.
including the recording?
Yeah, of course. So,
Okay, thank you. This is Harun.
Hello,
okay,
hello, excuse me.
now this time is open discussion.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, this is Dr. Adeshino from Lagos, Nigeria. I would also like to ask, is there going to be all these the link for extra online for you, the link you were talking about when you were presenting, the online resource where we can still find some other useful material? Hope is going to be added with the and over.
Ranokda. Hello, Ranokda.
Hello, can you hear me? Did you hear what my own?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, I said thank you for the presentation. I'm Dr. Adefunke Adeshino from Lagos, Nigeria. I work at Ministry of Health, Lagos State. I'm just trying to ask that hope all the extra resource material that you mentioned during your presentation, the online where we can access some other useful information, is going to be added to the presentation. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Good, nice questions. If you see my screen, I basically provide, and you can see my handouts as well, handout notes, right? Here is the references basically. In the most of the slides where I use references, you can see that link. Alongir bhai, can you see my screen with the notes?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see, I can see it. But don't forget
Yeah.
that you mentioned there's some other thing that you referred to that we can check online. I wouldn't mind if you can add the, what's it called? The link to the presentation so that we can also access some of those things in case we need to check some things further. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Alongir will share this presentation with all.
Yes, I will send to all.
Thank you.
Actually, my sound was very low. In this area, there is no electricity at the beginning. So for this reason, I am very sorry. Now this opening session, I request Bilashmitra Dada say something about your opinion about report writing feedback. And another.
Before going to discussion, I think that there are some question in the inbox to Ranokda. After the answering the question, it will be better to go to the discussion.
Okay. Ranokda, would you say Ranokda? Ranokda, are you hearing? Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing.
Oh, just some people write down the in chat box question. You may answer.
I'm reading the questions.
Yeah, Alongir bhai, I think if there is any question, they can unmute themselves and
Right.
Actually, one participant mentioned that first of all, you need to answer the question what is at present in inbox, and then open question can be.
I'm
considered.
reading the notes basically, but I didn't see any question basically. Everybody thanks. That's why. If there is any particular question, I can respond.
So we may allow our participants to ask question if they have.
Yes, I can hear you, Appa.
Yeah, Ranokda, there is a question. You mentioned that in the reference, there should be you should mention the time. So why it is important to mention the time in the reference? There is a question about that.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Appa. Because I am presenting, that's why I could not see every question in the chat box. I'm showing one reference here. my colleagues, do you know everybody, population meter? Like this is a site. Everybody can see my screen, right?
We can see that. We can see.
This is a like you are referring population meter. This is basically COVID meter as well. In the same website, COVID information is provided. Can you see that world population is increasing? Like if you referring population meter, and if you could not mention the timing, then it would be not the appropriate way. Because every second, every moment, the world population has been changed. So that's why you need to provide the time, including the seconds. If you use population meter, you need to provide the seconds as well. See, world population. Even if you go to the Bangladeshi population, they are also changing every seconds. This is the I'm just giving one example, basically. Bangladesh, sorry. It's basically another website. It's contributors. See, sorry. It's current populations. Now you are referring this website. If you do not provide the date, time, and seconds, it would be not the actual number, basically. That's why you need to use the time, including the seconds as well. See, our Bangladesh population has been changed. Few minutes before it's 310, now it's 311. I think, or who asked this question, he can understand, he or she can understand. Any questions? Yes.
There was another.
Yeah.
That was, is quotation and reference are important for standard report?
Yes, must.
কোটেশনও কি সব রিপোর্টে আসলে মাস্ট?
আপনি কি কোটেশন দিতে চাচ্ছেন? আপনি যদি একটা কোয়ার্টারলি রিপোর্ট করতে চান, আপনি যদি একটা ক্রেজি রিপোর্ট করতে চান, আই এম মেনশনিং দ্য ক্রেজি মিন্স ইটস লট অফ ইমপ্যাক্ট ইজ देयर। আপনি যদি একটা গুড ইমপ্যাক্টেড রিপোর্ট কিছু দিতে চান, কোয়ালিটেটিভ কিছু যদি দিতে পারেন, এটা আপনাকে একটা ক্রেডিবিলিটির জায়গায় পৌঁছে দেবে। এবং আমরা করি, আমরা নবযাত্রা প্রজেক্ট ইউএসএইড আমরা করি, আমি নবজীবনী ছিলাম, সেভ দ্য চিলড্রেন ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করতো, আমরা কোটেশন দিতাম, ইভেন আমরা দিতাম। নট মাস্ট, আপনার ক্রেডিবিলিটিকে এনহান্স করবে। এই যে টেমপ্লেটটা আমি শেয়ার করলাম এখানে প্রেজেন্টেশন, এগুলো পুরোটাই কিন্তু মাস্ট না, বিকজ এটা তো কোথাও সায়েন্সে বলা নাই এটা দিস প্লাস দিস, বাট আপনার রিপোর্টের ক্রেডিবিলিটি এনহান্স করবে। এনিথিং এলস?
জি রাইট ভাই, অন দ্যাট নোট একটাই ছিল যে অনেক সময় আমরা ক্যাপাসিটি ডেভেলপমেন্ট ওয়ার্কশপ বা এরকম অ্যাক্টিভিটিস করি, সো সেগুলোর রিপোর্টে আসলে দেখা যায় অনেক সময় রিপোর্ট রাইটিং করতে গিয়ে ওটা কিছুটা সেশন ওভারভিউ মতো হয়ে যায়। সো ওটার যদি একটা গাইডলাইন দিতে পারেন যে ওখানে আসলে মেইন কোন জিনিসগুলো হাইলাইট করা উচিত।
আমরা আমি জানি না, রিসেন্টলি কিছু অর্গানাইজেশন মোস্ট সিগনিফিকেন্ট কেসেস, আপনার ইন্টারনেট যারা একটু শুনছেন আমার কথা, ইন্টারনেট সার্চ দিলে পাবেন মোস্ট সিগনিফিকেন্ট কেসেস, যারা ইভেন্ট রিপোর্ট করে এবং অনেকগুলো অ্যাডভোকেসি রিলেটেড যেগুলো প্রোগ্রাম, তাদেরকে ওই বিষয়গুলো বেশি মাথায় রাখতে হয়, মোস্ট সিগনিফিকেন্ট কেসেস। তো মোস্ট সিগনিফিকেন্ট কেসেস তৈরি করা এবং কোড তৈরি করা, এগুলো ওখান থেকে রিপোর্ট জিস্ট করা, এটা আরো একটু ইম্পর্টেন্ট। কিন্তু ডেফিনেটলি আমরা যদি সময় পাই আমরা এগুলো নিয়ে কথা বলবো, নট টুডে। বাট আপনি যদি এরকম কোনো হন, আলমগীর ভাইকে বলবেন বা আমার সাথে ডিরেক্টলি কমিউনিকেট করবেন, আমি আপনাকে ইনফরমেশন দিয়ে দেব।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ, নাইস কোশ্চেন।
রনক ভাই, আপনার ফোন নাম্বারটা শেয়ার করবেন কিনা?
আমি এই হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ গ্রুপে আছি।
WhatsApp group.
Dada, another question over there.
Actually,
Yes.
From Apurva Datta, he asks for, is it important to follow any standard citation or reference style or method?
No. It's open to you. আপনি ইউজ করতে পারেন নাও, বাট এখন ছোট্ট একটা কিছু করতে যাচ্ছেন, আপনি এখানে সাইটেশন দেওয়ার দরকার। আপনি একটা অনেক ব্যাপক একটা ইম্প্যাক্ট নিয়ে কিছু কাজ করতে চাচ্ছেন, আপনার সাইটেশন দরকার আছে। ঠিক আছে, মানে আমিও শর্ট আনসার করছি কারণ টাইমিং 9:30 মনে হয় আমাদের টাইম, রাইট? আলমগীর ভাই, আলমগীর ভাই আজকে একটু ড্রপ হয়ে যাচ্ছে। ফিরোজ ভাই আপনি একটু লিড করেন।
Sorry, another person raised hand.
Yes.
Name. Shakad bhai.
আবার mute হয়ে গেছে।
Shakad bhai.
Shakad bhai, ask your questions, brother.
Thank you. I was dropped because of my neck connectivity. So thank you, Ronakda, for your nice and informative presentation. It's really very nice. It was really very nice presentation, and we do some of report and we do some of silly mistake, and hopefully it will also help us to for future to follow your instruction. I have just one thing to know from you, like you know the in our most of the emergency context we do a lot of report, especially MSNA, that is you know the multi-sector need assessment report. So for me, like I just wanted to know in a report there basically MSNA report is mostly focused on the qualitative survey and qualitative information, and there we are using the secondary information or other UN agency. My question is that here, like sometimes we also do some household survey if the security and other condition is allowed. But my question is like that, if the report is both qualitative and the quantitative, so it's what will be the ideal way to presentation in the qualitative and quantitative data in a report?
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Shakad bhai. Broader questions. Broader question needs a lot of time to discuss. And I have a presentation as well.
I know it's a long discussions, but within very short time, if you give some tips, please.
Okay. Thank you, Shakad bhai, এবং যারা শুনছেন আপনাদের এরকম অনেক ফেস করতে হয় বোথ কোয়ান্টিটিভ এবং কোয়ালিটেটিভ। তো আমি যেটা ফলো করি এবং আমি অনেক জায়গায় দেখেছি কোয়ান্টিটিভটাকে আগে হাইলাইট করা, যদি মিক্সড মেথডস করে বা মিক্সড ইনফরমেশন দিতে হয় কোয়ান্টিটিভটাকে দিয়ে আগে শুরু করে, কারণ কোয়ান্টিটিটা ইজি টু প্রেজেন্ট, এটা সত্যি। এবং কোয়ালিটিভ যেটা হচ্ছে যে এটা তো মোর ডেসক্রিপটিভ, বাট আমি মনে করি যে কোয়ালিটিভের যে আপনি ডোনারকে যা বলতে চাচ্ছেন বা স্টেক হোল্ডারকে যা বলতে চাচ্ছেন সেই জিনিসটা নিয়ে আসেন। আমি যেটা করি আমার প্রেজেন্টেশনে, আমি এর একটা ওয়েবিনার করেছিলাম, লাইক একটু আগে এটা এই কোড এক আপা আমাকে প্রশ্ন করেছিলেন কোড দেওয়া কি বাধ্যতামূলক। আমি প্রেজেন্টেশনে আমরা মানে ইথিক্যাল যে কনসিডারেশন গুলো করেই ধরেন এক্স একটা ম্যাডামের একটা তথ্য দিয়েছি, আমি তার ছবি লিখে তার ছবিটা দিয়ে okay just I have presented a presentation regarding both quantitative and qualitative, and I use some qualitative informations and some course. When I use in the presentation some course, I basically use that person's pictures. Definitely follow the ethical consideration, other things, photography consent, everything. And what happened in her life. We also flag some success story, but not in details. What changes happen in that household? So we show through the text that way. Definitely in the quantitative information and some level of course, not too much, and some level of success story, some changes through the text with some pictures. That way, if we present in the presentation, that will be good. Even the report as well, even the narrative. Sorry for this in the short nutshell, Shakad bhai, and if anybody can connect with me, they can connect in details, and I can share that presentation as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Another person, brother, raise your hand, please. Question. Ask question.
I can hear you.
One of the Rizwan bhai, could you
Sorry.
the question? Raise your hand. We have a hand here. Rizwan bhai.
I think that this is the time for Rezanul Haq. Rezanul Haq bhai.
Rizwan bhai.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ronakda. It was a nice presentation and nice explanation, and with the many people are regularly facing or doing this type of activities and also recovering gradually. So I have some points, not questions like just you can consider as a recommendation or suggestion for future improvement. So with the ML people usually face a common problem, especially who will develop the report or who will be responsible for developing the overall reports. So my own additional suggestion, so I think a formation of team we can consider before initiating a report, because the program people always think that many person should be responsible for developing or for planning the whole issues. That is the big problem in our developing world. So I think it's this suggestion or this can be considered. For example, with the many people when you work in central, is like I'm working for practical action, and here with the many people are responsible for whole report across the dimensions, like 14, 15 or 20 projects. So for example, with the many people are mainly responsible for doing on the indicator related or the quality assurance report. Are the program people like the influencing areas and the other field implementation areas they cover. So a team formation is essential, I think. And another point is the objective settings. So objective settings for reporting, not objective settings for the individual projects or like this. For example, we are planning for developing a progress reports like the quarterly reports or the half yearly reports. So usually what we miss the when we plan for a report, we just share the progress scatteredly. But if we targeting the indicator basis or the result framework or the logical framework, then I think report would be specific, and donor and the reviewer will get the actual progress. And even if we fail to achieve some areas, then they will also get the justification and our next planning. So this is my another suggestion. And third point is the means of verification, what already you try to share. For example, we share different progress like the part of referencing or like that. But we just mentioned that sometimes that yes, this workshop is happened in Q3 or month or like this. But we sometimes miss the incorporation of proper means of verification that sometimes make the confusion to the reviewer. So these are my another suggestion. And regarding referencing in periodic report or progress report and even the study report, I think must, because if we could follow the specific referencing module or referencing process, I think it would value. Because nowadays what I'm following, everybody wants to get the quality report. So referencing, I think one of the vital point of giving the quality shape of this of any report, especially the study report. So I think it's a good point. And another one is completion, complete message. I mean, for example, now I'm reviewing some reports. For example, a workshop is organized or was organized or has been organized, but when and how many people, if required, and actually how many event organized. So I think these type of mistakes we commonly do in our regular practice. And in terms of your last answering against the Shakot Bhai's point, that is the mixed method, I would just add one point. For example, when we use the mixed method in any, especially the study reports, so I think my one suggestion, yes, I'm fully agree with your point that first we need to proceed with the quantity point and then quality points. But in quality point, we mainly emphasize two areas, just in my observation or my experience. First one is we need to dig out the issue. When you need to dig out the issue, then we use the quality process. And another point is that when we triangulate the report, then we use the quality methods or tools like the case study or the IFGD KIR like this. So these are my points. Ronakda, thank you very much for overall presentation and overall explanation. Thank you,
Regional Bhai, for your nice opinion. Another question in chat box, Ronakda, from Ethiopia, Ashanef. How do we tell stories in report? Please, could you answer? How do we tell stories in report from Ethiopia?
Oh, there is a big guideline. big guideline for telling the stories. It's not too easy, basically.
Yeah.
Telling the story is not too easy because you are picturing impacted from your story, right? Both success or failure. So it's a lot of things. So there is no shortcut answer from here, from my side, basically. We need to discuss a lot of things. Definitely, Alungibai can think about these things, the qualitative part, as well as the how to write different things as well, tour, other things.
Ronald, this is Harun. In answering the question from Ethiopia, you can share a guideline here that will be helpful for that,
Sure.
that person and everyone, maybe.
Yeah, what's the name of the guy?
Asanep.
Oh, I can share the USAID guideline. There is a, or you can search in the DEX site or USAID website. There is a good guideline for telling or writing the story. There is an excellent guideline, excellent 5 pages guideline.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ronald. This is Harun from Khagrachari.
Harun, please.
Actually, I heard your name, but didn't see you. Maybe see, but I can recognize at this moment. It is very helpful and wonderful presentation from your part. I like it very much. I enjoy it actually. Actually, I wanted your phone number, as I like to talk with you separately. Yes, this is not the time. It's very tight time for you, for our all of our as well.
No problem.
So,
you will get
thank you very much. Thank you.
Not WhatsApp group. Actually, he is busy person.
Arun bhai, thank you so much for your nice compliments. I will share the phone number with you. No problem.
Thank you, Dada.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dada. Lots of people are raised their hands, Dada. So please scope them. First, Shariful Alam Bhuya, please.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, Ranokda. It's my pleasure to enjoy in community in your session, as I was your direct supervisor once a time. I just concerning one issue is sometimes we ERC approval for our evaluations. So how can we address and how what kind of information we can incorporate in our report while we conducted any evaluation along with approval of ERC? Thank you, Dada.
Excellent, Sharif. Excellent. Some of the technical things you need to do that when you do a evaluation, when do a research, we're concerned about it. Like you are testing your COVID kits, you are developing COVID kits, and certainly you need the approval. Or internationally, it's called international review board. So for getting the approval, basically at first need the tour. The details you need to tell everything what you would like to do. Even your tools and another important things what will be hampered through this research and how do you mitigate, and that plan is most important. If you do a research, if there is any damage of human, and what is the damage severity, gravity, and how do you mitigate, that plan need to prepare more thoroughly, and your approval totally depend on this, basically. If you mention there is some loss, there is less chance to get the approval. If you mention that there would be some concern, and that concern would be mitigated like this way, if that guideline is there, then you can get the approval. But definitely everything, the research proposal, the tour, the tools, the techniques, most of the human loss. So that planning is most important. We can discuss a lot about this story, definitely. But the thing is that human loss is the most important, and planning for covering this loss.
Okay, thank you, Dada. Got the message.
Okay, another person, Raman. So we'll short. That's out of time already. Rafsan Zaman, please say something.
Yes, thank you, ভাই। আসলে আমার কোশ্চেনটা হচ্ছে যে বেসলাইন রিপোর্টে আমি যদি হচ্ছে আমার আউটকামের যে ইন্ডিকেটর আছে সেটা মেজার করার জন্য যে ধরনের ডাটা দরকার, এর বাইরেও যদি কিছু ইনফরমেশন অ্যাড করতে চাই, সেটা কি বেসলাইন রিপোর্টে অ্যাড করতে পারবো কিনা?
পারবেন। nowadays আমি in generally recently I also use same way. I did a evaluation for a project in World Vision. It's funded by USAID, not Navojatra, and that's where there is no mention about qualitative data collection, but for sake of our project credibility of the reports and other things, we basically follow some other information collection through qualitative data collection, and we integrated this report in there, but there was no mandate from donor side.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dada.
Thank you. Last one, Mr. Sarkar. Just ask your question. And right, Mr. Sarkar, could you say something or ask?
First of all, thanks.
You can ask Bangla as well, no problem. Anybody can ask in Bangla.
Thank you. There is nothing to need actually. I have a questions about tour, and there is another questions basically baseline report, baseline or midline report, or when you do there on the basis of log frame, we do the our baseline subjective area, what kind of report, quantitative and qualitative report we are doing in there. So my questions, do you if you don't mind, will you share with our some practical not bookish, I know there is ins and out knowledge in international journals and I have read it, but I would like to see something practical if you share with our something like that. And I have another question about 5WC, if you share with ours on that.
Okay, আমি আপনাকে যেটা বলছি, okay, thank you. I'm referring always USAID things because there are hundreds, millions of documents in USAID sites. In the USAID, there is a DEC, DEC, Developmental Experience Clearinghouse, DEC. You can search in Google in the DEC site. If you search the evaluation reports, baseline report, you can get hundreds of evaluation reports all over the world, including Bangladesh. You can get the practical, even a short report you can get. So don't worry, just search in DEC site, Developmental Experience Clearinghouse, DEC or USAID plus DEC in Google, you can get everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ronald, would you stop your share?
Oh, sure.
In share? Okay, I think we should. Anything else?
It's a long hour. Alungir, please close.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for everybody for joining. Our next webinar will be held at 12th August, facilitated by Vilas Smith. So, of course, we will join our webinar. And thank you very much, Ronald, for your nice presentation. And everybody will be, I think everybody will be benefited from your presentation. Thank you all and safe at night. Good night.